Hello, and welcome back to the Elemental I Ching. And it's been an amazing journey to explore the archetypes of the Jing keys in relation to the elements as they blow around us, as they respond to our inner reality as these expressions of divine intelligence, of nature, of the elemental balance of life, revealing itself on each step of this pathway, of this evolutionary journey of the human heart. And, today we're going to explore GK5, the shadow of impatience, the gift of patience, and the city, the enlightened state of timelessness. And it's the water on top of the heaven, the waters of devotion, revealing this light hidden within. If we have the courage to be patient enough to listen, the courage to really be with life, to commit completely to each fresh moment. In the I Ching, this hexagram is called nourished while waiting. I love that, nourished while waiting. So often we in the conditioned culture, when we think of the word waiting, it means that we're not getting what it is that we want. We're waiting for it, or waiting for something bad to happen. It's like this pause, this liminal state of time that exists between the natural result of our actions. It's this in-between space. But waiting can also be this fertile experience of life vitality, of the present moment experience. So Richard talks all the time about the power of the pause, the importance of those moments of deep yielding, of receiving life exactly as it is, of being nourished while we're waiting, to be full and actually fed the life vitality by being present to the moment as it is and as it's becoming. So this heaven trigram below, it's the heaven is always in motion, it's time itself moving. And the waters of the mind are experiencing either the half-heartedness around the feeling of stagnation and entropy, which we can create as impatience. I'm making actions that are half-hearted because I don't want to feel this entropy, this numbness, this melancholy, this experience of dissatisfaction as it is. Like right now, it's very cold. So I'm impatiently speaking because I want to finish this video so that I can go inside and be warm again. But I read this great quote from the Essential I Ching of nature doesn't give up winter just because people don't like feeling cold. Right? There are natural cycles and deep timings, rhythms to the timing of life. And just because we may have a preference and we want something quicker than it's happening now, doesn't mean that there's not a purpose to the cycles of expansion and contraction, the cycles of growth and decay. Here we're entering into this winter time in the Pacific Northwest. It's a natural, important cycle for all of the plants to be reborn in the spring. They must peel back, they must let go of their layers. They have to conserve energy during these winter cycles in order to thrive in the summer cycles. There's a natural balance to life. So patience is committing to the timing, trusting with your wholehearted presence the timing of life, committing when it's time to move, and patiently listening and being nourished while waiting, to be flooded with love and compassion and excitement even, while sitting in the nothingness, waiting for the moment when that fresh yang will naturally emerge without forcing. Waiting can either be filled with worry or that sensual enjoyment of life. It's just more fun to enjoy the pause. There was another great line in the Essential I Ching that was talking about when the world is saying nothing in response, you get to hear, you have the opportunity to hear your sincere heart. It's like, if I want to create something and the universe doesn't respond with a yes right in that moment, right? You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. I actually get to take that moment to pause, to listen to the sincerity of my heart. And life's challenges will continue to show up to test the depths of my sincerity. How sincerely Do I want to grow? Do I want to love? Do I want to accomplish my missions? Sincerely enough to be patient? Or is it just another passing phase, another sensation that I'm giving into, but really I don't really care? I'm being half-hearted with my decisions and my energy again. It's natural. I go through cycles of this all the time. So life consciously puts the brakes on certain parts of my energy so that I can realign to what is my sincere impulse here. And actually, no, I'm okay with pausing and listening to the sincerity of my heart as it blossoms in this moment. Time is perfectly spaced to hear the echo of your sincerity. I love this quote. Time is perfectly spaced to hear the echo of your heart's sincerity. There's natural rhythms to life. Heaven is always in motion, but it's at longer time scales than the impulsive, compulsive, instant gratification world that I've been conditioned and grow up in, especially here in America. I want it, I go and get it now. Amazon Prime, I get it in 2 days, right? Free shipping. So ironically, my phone dies in the middle of this video, which is another beautiful synchronicity of life showing me to listen to each fresh moment and what is becoming and commit to that fresh moment. You know, that's what patience really entails, is a willingness to commit to the vibrancy of life as it's changing constantly, which is why in a pause, in a moment of quote-unquote nothing is happening externally, we can take that extra moment to nourish our body, our heart, our mind, our soul by being simple, nourished while waiting, nourished while I'm waiting for my phone to charge so that I can use the camera again. You know, not wasting all these precious moments of life in every single second, every single breath. You know, because waiting can be a time of entropy of pain around like, oh, I'm not becoming what it is that I want to become, or it can be an opportunity for cultivation. And especially in the winter time, which is why I feel like this heavenly trigram is here as a reminder for my body. It's in the lower trigram, it's in the body. Keep the energy moving, not externally, not trying to force actions to occur. You know, right now we're even in Mercury retrograde, right? This inward reflection of our own modes of communication and activation. So it's not about forcing external reality. That's impatience. That's not feeling comfortable with where I'm at right now. So I need to half-heartedly reach outside of myself. Or I can be nourished in this moment. This winter time is such a powerful time for creativity, for cultivation. And for me, a key technique that I remember, especially in this heavenly trigram, is the shaking practice, right? The Qigong shaking practice, to just keep the energy flowing internally. And you know, I find it's a good hack on the universe, is like, if you have to do something, cultivating your physical vessel is always of benefit, right? I mean, of course, you can get addicted maybe to overly superficially trying to build your muscle mass or whatever it is. You know, there's reasons why we work on the physical body. But in general, this is our temple, our vehicle, our conduit for divine energy to flow. So if we can maintain a vibrancy, keeping the engine going, even when externally we're not going anywhere, like warming up the car before you get out on the road, it gets the whole engine turning, moving, ready, prepared for when movement naturally is designed to occur. And then timelessness, the devotion to beauty in every moment. Imagine that. And not even imagine, feel and drink in. I invite us to feel and drink in that heart's devotion, that longing for spirit that's accomplished by becoming, embodying your own worship, and being devoted to discovering the beauty in every moment, to seeing reality as it is, love. And the timeless nature of the Buddha sitting in that infinite space, that infinite yin, to witness all of life's phenomena playing itself out, and it's all this beautiful story. So even when you look at some of the big global crises or personal transformations in your relationships or in your work, you know, this need to get somewhere, this need to fix what's broken, this need to accomplish something. It's not out of bypass that we pause. It's not a giving up. It's a willingness, a courage to trust in life's rhythms, to engage that masculine intention, to engage life, to commit to what the fresh moment is bringing each of us. And the beauty, the devotion to the beauty that comes from sitting in that timeless state, nothing to do, nothing to accomplish. Listen to that water eye, that perfection of what is, that's flowing through our visceral sensation of life. And use that, use our masculinear passion to create, to make good change in this world, to go out and create new communities and new art and new ways of commerce and new ways of making decisions together in a holocratic way. Fantastic, beneficial intention and agenda for the world. But let's return that fire eye, return that masculine intention in service to the perfection of what is. The evolutionary tendency to learn to choose, the opportunity to choose love in the face of non-love, and the involutionary current of grace penetrating every part of our soul, spirit, body, cellular truth. Like grace rain. Right? This is the water, the rain coming down to illuminate heaven. And the waiting that is required for the rain to return. So many blessings right now to the fires raging in California and the fires of people's own souls raging through their purification challenges in life. And let's be nourished even in the chaos of what's occurring so that we can allow the rains to return, allow the heart to grieve, allow ourselves to receive grace even in our darkest challenges. To keep that tiny spark of illuminated awareness alive amidst the impermanent phenomena of change, of crisis, of catastrophe. Again, not as a bypass from doing, when it is right action, when it naturally emerges, we will know the right step, we will commit to the freshness of that moment. But patience is a courage to communicate with life that is constantly creating itself anew, to communicate with ourselves, ourself, to listen and be nourished in this pause. And it happens every day. Hopefully multiple times a day we can pause, have that cup of tea, drink in the timeless beauty of life, the timeless transmission of living wisdom that is occurring in every breath, always communicating. Creation is always communicating with us. And this key for me is a willingness to listen so that I can communicate with those rhythms and cycles of life. Life is perfectly spaced to hear the echo of your sincerity, of your heart's sincerity. So use those pauses, that spaciousness, even that melancholy, even that swampy, I don't know, space, as an opportunity to receive the sensations of life, the data that life is sending us constantly. So that when it's time to act, we move from this fluid, trusting space instead of impulsively trying to react against the uncomfortable sensation of being. Courage to be with that uncomfortable sensation of just being. Many love, many love, many loves opening to this awareness, unified in our rapture as we listen to the devotion of beauty. Have a beautiful day.